Hey everyone, welcome to the Art of College, and today I have a very special guest from Rutgers University. Alyssa is an admissions officer at Rutgers New Brunswick. Now that's the flagship campus at Rutgers. So there's actually three campuses: Camden, Newark, and New Brunswick. And New Brunswick is the flagship campus. They're all under Rutgers, but they're three separate schools. And Alyssa's here with the flagship campus. Rutgers New Brunswick itself has 5 campuses, and so every time you hear Alyssa say campus, she's talking about the campuses within Rutgers New Brunswick. We'll do separate interviews with the folks at Rutgers Camden and Rutgers Newark. That's a completely different school, completely different applications team. So I want to make that clear. Alyssa has been, with Rutgers for many years. She's also the coordinator for international recruitment and outreach. Alyssa's traveled to Asia, China, East Asia. Alyssa, you can share all that with us. So a little bit of background. Now, Rutgers is the 9th oldest college in all of the United States. It's one of the 9 colonial colleges. So we're talking about Harvard, Yale, Princeton. It's one of the founding colleges of this nation. Consistently ranked in the top 60. Alyssa, I'm just so honored to have you, on camera with us, sharing with us international students, international applicants. Why should they apply to Rutgers? Why should they enroll at Rutgers when they get accepted? And then what are some tips on getting accepted today? So thank you so much.
Thank you. We're really excited. I'm really excited to be here representing Rutgers New Brunswick. It's actually where I went to get my undergraduate degree, and now I work for them. So I have been there a very long time. But we saw in admissions, we saw your YouTube channel, having visited over 100 different colleges around the United States. And when you reached out to us, David, we were just really excited to talk about Rutgers, especially in more detail for our international students who might not be able to visit our campus. So,
thank you.
Very big campus, but yeah, we'll get into all that.
It's a huge campus, and I was there in the summer of last year, and it's so big that my drone could not fly from one campus in New Brunswick. In New Brunswick,
Yeah.
One of the campuses, one of the 5, couldn't fly from one to the other without running out of batteries. It's that big. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna put a table of contents here, and we're gonna cover kind of 4 major areas. So, Alyssa, let's start with kind of an orientation on the sub campuses. The 5 campuses. How is that split out? Why are there 5 campuses? Could you give us some background there?
Yes, for sure. So I know it may sound a little bit intimidating, but Rutgers is a very big campus. On New Brunswick alone, we have over 36,000 just undergraduate students. So New Brunswick is our flagship campus and our largest campus in New Jersey. We're located in central New Jersey. So in our main campus of New Brunswick, like David mentioned, there are 5 different sub-campuses that are more like neighborhoods that make up the Rutgers New Brunswick overall campus. So each sub-campus, or like I said, neighborhood, has academic buildings, residence halls, a dining hall, a recreation center, and of course a library. So all of these different 5 sub-campuses are all self-sufficient in their own way. And the way that students get around to these different campuses is by our bus system, which is super efficient. And also, if I do say so myself, a great way to start learning those time management skills, which will definitely come in handy when commuting to a job. But another great detail about our Rutgers New Brunswick campus is, like I mentioned earlier, our central location in New Jersey. We have a train station right on our campus, in the center of our campus actually, and students are easily connected to major cities like New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and also Newark International Airport, which of course is probably going to be the first stop that a lot of our international students hit. So that's a little bit of rundown about how our campuses are set up. Students, take the buses across. But I will say that from one side of the farthest sub-campus to the other side of the farthest sub-campus, if you're looking at it on a map, it's only about a maybe 10 to 15 minute bus ride. So it's not like you're going to be on the bus for 30 minutes, an hour. They are fairly close because of that bus system that we have that connects our students to the different areas of campus.
Gotcha. So, guys, the campuses are adjacent to each other. They're not like spread out farmland in the middle. They're right next to each other. Alyssa, are they kind of split by major? Is it like one campus is mostly a certain kind of major, or is it?
So that is a good question. Each one of the 5 different sub-campus neighborhoods definitely do have their own type of environment and atmosphere to them. So, for example, one of the campuses houses majority of our STEM programs. So if you're in a STEM major or in the School of Engineering, a lot of your classes are going to be on that one campus. But then to contrast that, another one of our campuses has a full functioning farm on it. So if you are studying animal science and you are in our School of Environmental and Biological Sciences, majority of your classes are going to be on that campus. So I will say that, yes, a lot of our different majors and academic schools are placed in these specific, on these specific sub-campuses. But I will also say that when I was a student at Rutgers, I have had classes across all 5 campuses. So yeah, it could, in theory, you can stay on one campus your entire time because they are all self-sufficient, but you can also kind of play with it and move around a little bit.
Okay. So, I think that kind of geographic diversity where, a friend told me this story and it totally makes sense. She went to Cornell and she was like, it's a small college town, and when I broke up with my boyfriend, I still ran into the same people, and sometimes it's really awkward. You don't have that chance to kind of re-find a new circle. So
yeah,
I like big campuses.
Yeah, I mean, what I always tell students, and what I know from my personal experience, is that I don't think that there's a way to make a small campus and a small university bigger, but I do know that there are so many ways to make a huge university like Rutgers feel either as big or as small as you like it to.
Right.
The things you get involved in, but always having that option to keep expanding and
right.
maybe, never see the same people each day. So
yes.
It's nice to have that option and to be able to kind of mold your experience based on what you'd like.
And if you were like me at Georgia Tech, we at the time we were like 25% female. You just felt like, dude, I've seen all the girls there. It's like, please, can we get some new faces? So there are definite real pluses. What about the major offerings? So, there must be hundreds of majors. What are some of the most popular ones, especially with international students?
Can you, or do you know, or can you guess what our most popular incoming major is?
See, I guessed business, and that wasn't it.
Right, yeah, there you go. So it's actually undecided.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's our most popular incoming major.
See, okay, you gotta tell me,
Yeah.
you gotta tell me, as an admissions officer, what are you thinking when you see an undecided? Are you like, this kid is totally lost, is a net bad thing? Or is it, because many parents want to know, okay, look, my child doesn't really know, he's still finding himself or herself. Is it okay to put down undecided? Does that hurt me in some way in the application?
So to explain a little bit about Rutgers, first of all, no, absolutely no.
Okay.
The way that Rutgers does our admissions process is that we admit students based on that overall academic school that they're applying into, such as the School of Arts and Sciences, School of Business, School of Engineering, this that we just talked about.
Okay.
We admit them into that overall academic school, not by specific major or degree.
That's good to know.
What that actually means is that although we ask our students what their major of interest is while they're filling out the application, if you have been admitted into the School of Arts and Sciences, all students, all first-year students will technically come in to school on their first day, all undecided. And I actually think that that's a really smart and great thing to do. We do this to allow students the time and the space to get to campus, get their feet on the ground, start taking their classes that are going towards their core curriculum or maybe prerequisite courses for the major they think they're going to declare. But they have some time so they can really think about it before they have to declare anything or, write anything down on paper.
Okay.
So especially when there are so many to choose from. And like I said, you're guaranteed
right.
to find something at Rutgers that, you never even heard of, you didn't know that you were really good at,
Right.
you didn't know that you had a strong interest in.
Right.
And so that's a big reason why we do our admissions process like that. And some kids do come in, they know exactly what they want to do and they stick with that all 4 years, but there is no harm in, wanting to take the time once you get to college to kind of, take some classes. And the way that our curriculum is set up ensures that those students will not fall behind because of the core curriculum we have set up.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's so cool.
So there are a ton of different majors at Rutgers. There's over 100 to choose from at the undergraduate level and then even more at the graduate level. So when you come to us, you might also know exactly what you want to study, but you are guaranteed to learn about something, hear about a major that you did not even know existed with all of those options at your fingertips. So the way that our majors are divided into different academic schools. So our School of Arts and Sciences is the largest school that we have in New Brunswick in size and also in major offerings. So it has a little bit over 75 of the 100 plus majors that we offer. I think one of our most popular majors within that school that I've seen for, students international or from the US is computer science. It is, students can choose and explore different electives in that major, such as computer and software systems, computer security, graphics and vision. So even though the major is computer science, there's still those concentrations that allow students to really mold that major into what they'd like it to be and what they want to focus on. But aside from what students will be doing in the classroom for this major, Rutgers also has 6 different computer science related clubs on campus, from mobile app developing club to a creation of game society. They have an annual hackathon that has over 700 participants each year. And then we also have a really cool Hack Our Space facility, which gives students a safe environment to perform actual computer security testing on live machines, and to do some work there that could potentially demonstrate their work for different investors and things like that in the future. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Another interesting set of majors that we have in our School of Arts and Sciences is our biological sciences. So we have a genetics major, which is really rare to find at a university at the undergraduate level, and then also cell biology and neuroscience. So there's a lot going on in the School of Arts and Sciences.
So that's biological sciences, genetics, and all that. I was curious, does Rutgers have a medical school or a school of nursing? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so we actually, we do have our Rutgers Nursing School, which is, highly competitive. It's a really great program. And then we also are affiliated with, we have a medical school in New Brunswick and then also at our Newark campus. So we are leading in the health professions as well.
Okay.
So, but the great thing about any of these majors, that's especially within the School of Arts and Sciences, is that you can mix and match. You can double major, choose a minor. You're able to take a major that may be more STEM focused, like genetics, and then pair it with another major within the School of Arts and Sciences that may be more humanities focused, like literature or art history. So with all of these majors, again, you're able to, create your experience, create your academic plan, mix and match your majors, double major, study two things that are totally different, but that you're really passionate about. So I think that that's really cool.
Okay. Hey, I did have a question on that, Alyssa.
Okay.
So let's say you're in the School of Arts and Sciences and you wanted to do a double major or switch majors. Is it easier to switch major to something within the School of Arts and Sciences versus, going to the School of Engineering or going to the business school? Or is that process the same, whether you're switching within that same college or, between other colleges?
So it is definitely easier to switch your major within the academic school that you are, that you have been accepted into and that you are enrolled in. So if you are within the School of Arts and Sciences, it's very easy to switch your major to something else that is in the School of Arts and Sciences. But we do, of course, have a process for students who are enrolled and start within one school and then maybe have a change of heart, change their mind, and realize that they're really interested in a major that might be in a completely different school, like the School of Engineering or the School of Business. So we do have an internal transfer application and process so students can then be accepted into and start within a different academic school.
Okay. Alyssa, so there are 200 plus majors on the grad site. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
true. Yes.
Okay.
And like you also mentioned, tons of research. I mean, we are one of the leading research institutions in the United States, and especially within the computer science major, there are faculty-led research programs in all of the different concentrations that students can get involved in within computer science.
I think that's important for you guys to consider because a lot of y'all are thinking about, well, a bachelor's degree is kind of the first step. I want to do more, get my master's or even a PhD. You start interacting with those professors, your third year and your fourth year for sure. And many times I know that one of the engineering schools has an accelerated master's program. So many times you can take master's classes in your last year of your undergrad.
So just know that Rutgers encourages students to dig in and get involved in research from day one. So you can get involved in that research from your first year. You don't have to wait till you're an upperclassman, and that's really special and a very unique opportunity at the undergraduate level.
Okay, that's cool. Now, when are we going to talk about engineering? I was in engineering.
What's really unique about our School of Engineering, it's really popular choice for students, but with our School of Engineering is any student that comes in within their first year, all of them take courses throughout all the different types of engineering that we offer. So students in the School of Engineering don't actually declare and choose their major until the spring of their first year, so during their second semester. But within this school, you will find a lot of the majors that you'd expect, such as mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering, aerospace engineering. What type of engineering did you major in, David?
I was an industrial engineer, so
that
was like logistics, and they called us imaginary engineers because there was no physical thing to work with. It was all processes.
Oh.
It might have been the easiest engineering too. That's why they call us that.
I'm sure no engineering is easy, but we do have industrial as well. Okay. But one of a new area in engineering that we offer our students that I really wanted to highlight is our packaging engineering concentration, which is housed in an engineering school. So you might be thinking,
packaging.
Packaging. I know you never hear that.
Well, I've never heard it. Yes.
On supermarket shelves, in toy stores, drugstores, warehouses, most people are really interested in what? The products that are available, and not so much about their containers. but this is a huge field, and packaging is way more than just a pretty bottle or a pretty thing that draws your eyes to it. So manufacturers have a specific requirement procedure for the product's packaging, certain temperatures it needs to be, certain shape, tamper resistant, different things like that. So you would never really think of this, but we have that program at Rutgers. It's a hot new program within our School of Engineering. So the manufacturer of packaged goods is actually a multi-billion-dollar business, and it has a significant impact in New Jersey and the U.S. economy. So
that's
I think
so interesting. That
yeah,
is so
I think it's really the packaging engineering concentration. It's a multidisciplinary field that draws on different chemical, industrial, material, and mechanical engineering aspects in order to design and create these packages and boxes and cartons and all that. So it's kind of like a collaboration of a few different types of engineering for this concentration. So.
And honestly, it's so much more relevant than say, like, let's just say civil, okay? Because how many bridges are you gonna build? Right?
That's true.
Right? There's only so many bridges to build. But packaging, that's every day. That's every new iPhone that comes out. It's gonna have a new packaging, and it gives you a new feeling. I think that's super relevant to today.
Yeah. No. The next school that I wanted to highlight it's a highly ranked program, is the Rutgers School of Business. So just to go over those ones really quick, we have accounting, business analytics and information technology, finance, marketing, supply chain management. And I think our proximity to New York City also really comes in handy for students within this school, especially when it comes time to finding internships and things like that, and being to networking.
Okay.
Students who are in our business school.
So I would venture to say business is probably your most popular major for international students. I'm just taking a guess. Is that right?
I don't know. I see a lot of computer science, a lot of School of Engineering, but also a lot of business school. And our business school is really competitive to get into. So
it's hard to get into. Now, is it one of those business schools where you apply to the business school, you apply to Rutgers, and then there's like a separate application for the business school? Okay.
No. So yeah, you can choose the Rutgers Business School right on your first year application.
Okay. You mentioned in the engineering school in the spring semester. So you're on campus in the fall, and then in the spring, that's when you have to decide your major. Is that just for engineering, or is that for kind of all schools?
So typically, for schools like our School of Arts and Sciences or our business school, for example, typically students don't have to declare a major until the end of their second year.
Oh, okay.
That is kind of more specific to the School of Engineering.
Oh, okay. So it's actually a little bit earlier in the School of Engineering. You decide a little bit earlier.
Yes.
And that makes a lot of sense because a lot of the core classes, especially within one school, within one college, is mostly the same. So
yeah,
the first couple of years, it's okay. I do have a question on the cultural side. I've been working with international students for 7 years now. And for new students here from a different country, it is like drinking from the fire hose. There's cultural stuff, there's life away from parents, and then there's the academics. There's all this, and these are teenagers, right? So they're adjusting to life in general. What is there to support kids, to let parents know that, hey, look, we understand there's a cultural adjustment, there's a language barrier, but we're here to support you with these programs. I know Rutgers has a ton of stuff. Can you touch on just some of them? For the international population.
Sure. So I'm gonna a few different programs and teams that we have in place that are really there to help our international students, not only just adjust, but then also, thrive at Rutgers University. And, if it's their first time in the United States.
Yes.
So one of my favorite ones that we have is called the Global Roommate Program, which is a program that an international student will have to apply to be in. And what this is kind of like a mentor program where 2 current Rutgers students and 2 incoming international students, so four students total, are paired in one of our apartment style dorms. And so it's 2 current students, 2 international students. It kind of forms a mentor-mentee type of relationship. And so I actually went to the Global Roommates Program orientation for last year for fall 2019 and got to, meet all of the current Rutgers students that were going to be participating in the program and the incoming students that had just gotten there to participate in the program. And we played a lot of games and it was super fun. And I think that in itself, living with somebody who is specifically there to hang out and show you around and really help you in that way. I think that's really fun.
No, it's absolutely, everybody should be applying to it. I hope people see this video and everyone applies to it, and y'all gotta expand the program. Because honestly, that's what I tell my students. I tell them, guys, when you go to college, try not to live with another, Asian person or something. Try to branch out there, live with an American.
And with
roommate.
this. With this program, you have best of both worlds because you have an international student who's also new, just like you,
right? And
then 2 current Rutgers students.
2 on 2. That's so much better. Yeah, that's so. So it's not awkward. It's like, well, this guy.
Yeah. And you get to live in an apartment style dorm.
Okay.
Which they're really nice. So
not like a normal one room.
Right. Yeah.
An apartment style. See.
Yes.
That's so cool. That is whoever put that program together has really been in an international student's shoes or has worked with international students. That I think everyone should do that. Honestly, this is the first kind of its program I've seen out of all these schools. I've been to like 100 colleges. Read up all about them. Literally, this is the first one that I've seen where there's a purposeful roommate program. Yeah,
it's a new program, but it's getting bigger and it's getting stronger, and I think that it's really great, especially having gone to see it in action at the orientation for last year for fall 2019.
Right.
But, probably one of our the biggest ally that international students are going to have when they come on campus is our global services. So our international student scholar services team that has different, they're there to counsel students when it comes to, different visa and immigration things and stuff like that. But they also have walk-in hours, and they are really going to be international students, best friends, go-to people for things that they need. But another cool thing that we have on campus for our international students is something called an Are You Fit course. And so it's a 1-credit course that is taught by upperclassmen. And its focus of this course is to really help aid the transition for our international students coming into Rutgers University. So.
Okay, this is an actual class.
Yes.
I remember we had like an intro to engineering class, which was a 1-credit class to tell about all the engineering. But that's great, to see that purposefulness. There's a whole class to help international students get oriented.
Yes. So another program that we have at Rutgers is our RU Pathway program. And this is actually in like a conditional acceptance that students can either apply directly into, or if they do apply for regular undergraduate admission and their English proficiency isn't as strong as we would like it to be, then they will be offered a spot in this program. And so this is a 1-year program where they start in the summer and then end the next summer. Before they start, it's a whole English intensive program to really get them ready. And if they pass this program, then they begin to matriculate into in Rutgers and, in the normal undergraduate program. Our minimum TOEFL score that we're looking for New Brunswick is the internet test is a 79. Okay. So it would be for students who are maybe right below that. And our English proficiency, a chart of our English proficiency scores that we're looking for each of the campuses is located on our website as well. So you can find that information online.
Cool, we'll put that online. Is it, let's say a student attended an U.S. high school for 2 years. At what point does the TOEFL requirement drop off if they've attended a U.S. high school? That's
a great question. There are different ways that the TOEFL and the English proficiency score can be waived as you've been in a U.S. high school for 2 or more years, or you've completed a college level English composition course. Say you're transferring to us from a different U.S. college. So that information is on our website as well about what might make a student eligible to have that score waived, so they won't have to submit it to us.
Cool. That's good to know. Alyssa, part that people are here for, okay? It's what are some tips? What is like the meat of the application? If this was your little brother, little sister, and you're like, okay, make sure you do this, make sure you don't do this. What are some tips?
That's a great question, and I'm sure that one that everybody wants to know. So I would say my top tips for applying to college, especially a U.S. university, is to start early and to really do your research and to watch the deadlines, because deadlines are really, really important. I also know for Rutgers, any student that applies by our application deadlines are automatically considered for the merit-based scholarships that we have.
Okay. So international students as well for the merit.
International students as well. So really do your research, pay attention to the timelines, apply early if you can, and then watch those deadlines. Another tip I would give students is kind of also in that same vein, is about the essay, and to really take your time with the essay, start your essay early, have a lot of different eyes, look at it. Don't be afraid to ask for maybe your high school teachers or your counselors or even your friend. Take a look at your essay and just get some feedback on that. My third and then fourth tip, I'm going to do 4 tips, the third tip would be to be thorough and to take your time with the application and to make sure you're really highlighting and writing everything down that you've done throughout your high school years. So I know for us at Rutgers, we really do read those essays and we really do look at that extracurricular activities that students participated in, any sports you've done, any volunteer work, any employment, any awards that you've gotten, is really taking the time to make sure you're highlighting all the things that you've done, because that is something that can really set a student apart from another student, especially if 2 students have maybe a similar academic profile. They've both got pretty good grades, they're both good students, but if one of them's really involved and we see that this student is gonna bring a lot of engagement and leadership to the Rutgers community, that might set this student apart. So to be really thorough when you're listing all that stuff out can be really helpful. So my last tip for students would be to ask for help. And, contact your counselors. This is our job. This is my job, is to answer your emails, to talk to students and to try to help guide them through this process. And so definitely don't be afraid to ask for help and to reach out to those college representatives in that admissions team if you do have any questions.
Okay, don't just use your high school counselor, but you feel free to reach out to the college
Exactly,
counselor.
Yeah.
Okay. Alyssa, thank you so much for your time today. It's rare to have an admissions officer come online, on video and share these things, and I really appreciate that from Rutgers. I know you had to get this approved and all that. Is there anything else you wanted to mention in this video?
I just wanted to say that, just speaking from experience, Rutgers is a very diverse but very open-armed, welcoming place. We have a lot of different things to offer our students. And we are really, I would say, as diverse of a region as it gets. We got a lot of good food. Our campus is, has a lot going on, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of cultural sensitivity on our campus. We are very welcoming.
Cool. Hey, Alyssa, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was fun.
All right, it was.